Hello everyone and welcome back to the 11th part tutorial of the beginner guide into Maya. So this time we're gonna continue and start build up the pelvis and the other um, parts, the legs and whatever. Now pelvis is a new word for me. I'm not sure which is the common used terms for it, but anyway. So in order to make this, we need to decide either we wanna build our pelvis and connect it to the torso, or we want to use the torso and stretch it and build from it the pelvis. So I think that in both cases it's a matter of practice for you, but what I'm worried about at most is that right now if I'm gonna try and connect a different part to the entire body here, we will need to deal with connecting this figure with the same amount of edges that we already have here. Now, right now, this is pretty a low poly, with some exceptions because I do have some extra edges here, but it's still low poly model, and it's pretty easy to, connect things and make things in the correct topology. Now, what I mean in topology is that we will have each face will have 4 vertices point for each face here. So not less or not more than that, only 4 vertices for each face. Now at this point we did maintain topology, but in order to maintain topology on extra objects, we will need to do everything according to what we already have on the basic shape we already modeled. So we will do this on the hard way. Well, it's not the hard way, but it's the correct way to do this. So I'm going to create a new cube in the scene, and again, it will appear in the center, so it's kind of convenient for us. And in order to patch this correctly, we need to have the same amount of edges that already have in this intersection point where we need to connect the pelvis. So in order to do this, we're going to add more edges as we did with the torso at earlier parts. So I'm going to shift right click on this while it's in object mode, insert edge loop, and I'm going to add one edge loop here, one edge loop here, one edge loop here, and one edge loop here. Doesn't have to be accurate. We will set this to be accurate. So while we have this, we can basically connect it because you can see we have the same amount of faces here, same amount of faces here, so it's pretty much the same and it can be connected and still yet maintain topology. So I'm going to right click, choose face, switch to selection tool because I'm still on this edge loop tool, and I will grab these. Oh, I'm basically using the symmetry tool, so I'm going to turn this off and simply grab this, shift select this, that, and that. Now, the easiest way to grab all of those is basically to grab all this Mercury select as we did here. And one thing that I didn't introduce is how to unselect things. So you can either shift select only those and unselect them, but the best way is, I'm going to undo that, is to control and Mercury select everything, and that way you will remain only with those faces selected. So you'll simply press delete on your keyboard and it will delete them. Now with that said, we're going to do the same over here. So I'm going to switch over here, and right now it's already in edit mode. So if it's not the same case in your scenario, so in your scene, so just right click, choose face on top of this, select those entire things. You can see I can control select those, and those will be unselected and those will remain selected, and I can delete those as well. So just as we did earlier, we're going to first shape this at first. Okay, I'm going to shape this like so. I'm going to grab these vertices, shift select those vertices. I'm going to switch to move tool, scale tool, sorry, scale them down to about so. So I will have something like the first construction in order to create my legs from these faces here later on. Right now, let's keep it that way so it looks like underwear or something, okay? And we're gonna press F8, grab, well, let's bring this a little bit nearer here. I'm gonna grab this and this, mesh, combine, and we're gonna use mesh tools, merge vertex tool, and we will start connect those vertices. So you see we have the same amount. So I'm gonna do this that way. I'm gonna stretch the lower part of the pelvis towards our torso. So I'm gonna start with these 2 points that way, and because I started with the pelvis, I will continue so on until I will patch this all. Okay, simply connect all those dots that way and that way. Okay, so I just at the same time I did made a little bit problems here, as it seems. I don't know, something just doesn't look right, but anyway, we can grab those, switch to move tool, bring them over here pretty much to the center of it. Doesn't have to be accurate. I'm going to grab these, maybe all at once, scale tool, and uniformly bring them up and bring them downwards. That way you can grab those, stretch them downwards, and make them, well, maybe we will make them that way. And let's narrow this that way. And now I'm going to right click, choose faces, grab those faces, control unselect those faces so only those remain selected, extrude them. Now you can pull them that way. Now if you have some distortion like this going down and this goes up, what you will do is undo that, switch to move tool, it's still extruded, and simply bring them down with the move tool, not with the extrusion tool. Okay, sometimes things such as this can happen, so if it didn't happen or it did happen to you, please be aware that the move tool will help you solve this. Okay, so with that done, I'm going to right click, choose vertices, and I'm going to grab those middle ones and bring them downwards that way. And well, we may need to tweak things here. And it's just a little bit more advanced than, you know, Minecraft figure, but anyway, I'm going to bring this up so I will have place to, you know, continue the legs. And now we're going to right click, choose face. I'm going to grab those 2 faces. You can see I'm not using any more of this symmetry because I'm not used to work with it. I prefer doing things such as in that way. So I'm going to grab those 2 faces, extrude them, and switch to move tool this time, and then stretch them down here. Now you can see both a little bit angled, so you can use the move tool, the scale tool, and push them on the y-axis that way, so they will get straight. Okay, basically what you do, you move the cube until the center one, and that way you for sure you know that they're aligned and straight that way. When extrude once again, push those that way. Again, if this goes down and this goes up, don't stretch them, just simply extrude and immediately switch to move tool and bring them downwards that way. Extrude once again. Okay, so those are the knees. Okay, and here you do want to make sure you have a little bit space before you touching the grid, and click extrude once again just to make those as like the feet of the figure. Okay, now I'm going to right click, choose vertices, grab those, and we'll simply move them that way and maybe a little bit upwards, like so. And I'm going to reshape those as well, bring them a little bit that way. And maybe those a little bit outside, I don't know. It's getting the feeling that it has a butt. And yeah. Now we're gonna grab those two faces here, face, that one and that one, extrude them and move them over here. Now I want this to stay flat for a while, so right click on the figure, choose vertices, and I will simply grab only the upper vertices of those two legs and move them downwards that way. Okay. Now, as for now, you can either grab those two and move them that way or leave them as they are. It's really up to you. As for anatomy, this is probably the most not accurate thing to say that some anatomy knowledge apply to it, but at least we are trying, and it's more of modeling and, you know, very basic stuff, not really getting into professional kind of modeling as for anatomy. Okay. Anyway, I'm trying to just place things into some, I don't know, logic, proportions or whatever. And of course the arms here should be a little bit more longer. So if you want to grab those, maybe you want to click the object and then grab those and pull them at once, or you can simply grab those and those, shift select those and use the scale tool and stretch them. Really up to you, whatever is more convenient. And let's reshape the head a little bit. I'm going to grab those vertices, stretch them a little bit that way, press F8, and now I want to make some cut here, center cut to this. So I'm going to right-click, choose edge, and I'm going to grab edge that's facing this same direction. So this edge here, it can be also this edge, or this edge, or this edge, or from the back, same edges, but something in this direction. Control, hold down the control, right-click at the same time, and choose edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. This will create a split on the center. So this brings me into something else, but we will talk about this later on. So as for now, I think this is pretty much done. I mean, it's not done, but this is something, at least for now. I hope you enjoyed this part of the tutorial, and I will continue this. I bet I'm going to continue this. So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day or night, and see you soon at the next part. Bye bye. Oh, by the way, don't forget to save this. Save scene as, I'm going to save it as 4. Okay, for you it should be 3 because I had the first attempt to start with it, so save as, and that's all. Thank you again. See you the next part. Bye bye.